Thank you, D-Lady, for your comment. I really wanted to respond to you in a way that is supportive and helpful and yet realistic. I have to be perfectly frank with you. In situations like this, it's going to come down to your self-efficacy. It's going to come down to you saying what you're willing to accept. I had a situation like this. Let me give you an example. With someone that I knew that was very close to me. I was coaching this person, and this person was dealing with their hair journey. And this person had cut off all of her hair and was now in the natural hair journey. She was a manager at a very well-known college here in New York City. And they would make her supervisor, who was a white male, Jewish male, would make fun of her hair in his microaggression ways, trying to make it seem like it was a joke, at every staff meeting in front of all of the other managers in all of the other departments. As if to say, hey, so let's talk about what, let's say her name is Clara. Let's talk about what Clara is doing with her hair this month. This young professional. She ended up going to school at some point through her journey working there and becoming more credentialed in the same area as her manager. So now she had the master's, he had the bachelor's. She was 10 years younger than him and a black woman. And these types of interactions are not just, we're just having little jokey jokes, especially in this current climate. We're talking about over the past 10, this happened about 15 years ago. She decided to stay on that job. I was livid, and she would call and I would have to talk her down emotionally and talk her through the panic and all these things. But I said to her, I said, you have to woosah. There's a couple of ways you could handle this. My advice to her was, since you don't want to leave the job, you've decided that you don't want to leave the job, you want to keep the job, you want to stay on your professional track, fine. You shouldn't allow these people to push you out of your job. But you have to take an empowered position about how you want to deal with it. Because whether you say nothing or something, they're still standing on your face. So why bother? Do something. Hold your dignity and hold your own self-efficacy. So my advice to her was, you need to go in that staff meeting. The next time they do that, since they want to pretend that it's a jokey joke, you need to pretend that it's a jokey joke too. And take control of the room. And say, we're not going to talk about my hair this month. Looks like Ben got a haircut and looks like he got some highlights. Let's talk about Ben's haircut and highlights. Ben, your hair looks really nice. And move the conversation off of you. Since you want to pretend that this is a joke and that it's all wholesome and you're not being spiteful and microaggression and mean, because I know you are. So let's take the focus off of me and put it on to Ben and Ben's haircut and Ben's highlights. Because that's the only way it's going to be fair, right? Since you want to make it seem like it's not actually what it really is. So we're not going to talk about my hair this month. Talk about somebody else's hair. That is a strategic way to deal with these kinds of behaviors, which are really childish in these grown-up adults. But they have unmerited privilege. So they believe that because they're in the front of the room, that they have control. And that they should be the end-all and be-all, and that, white is right. You as an African, I don't accept nothing less than you engaging with me professionally as a colleague with the dignity and respect. Absolutely not. CEO, president, VP, it doesn't matter to me either way. It's not acceptable in my space. Most of the time, they don't even bring that to me personally. To me as an individual, they don't give me that because my energy doesn't even allow it. But it also has impacted my professional development in these tracks, in these spaces, my forward trajectory, because they can't get comfortable around my energy. They can't handle me any kind of way that they want to, and that makes them uncomfortable. So therefore, you got to be liked, and because they have all this unmerited privilege, they get to say and gatekeep opportunity and spaces. So this young lady that I'm telling you about, her name was, Clara, what have you, she wanted to stay in that soft spot, in that sweet spot, with her, good job. And, she's still there. Okay, but you know what? She's been miserable the whole time that she's been there. She's still there. It hasn't done anything but help her keep her bills paid. And she could have kept her bills paid with her dignity also. See, because what happens is when you practice in that bad behavior, you build in a lack of self-worth. You build in shots at your own personal dignity. And anything you practice, you get good at. So if you're practicing suppressing yourself and not standing for your self-efficacy and your dignity as a human and your wholeness, you begin to accept a subordinate posture as your reality. And a lot of us do. Those are the same people that I have worked with in all of the many jobs. I have a bag full of work IDs on my professional journey who accept their position and are appalled that I don't. Because that would have happened one time to me, and it would never have happened again. And it doesn't require popping off and attitude and stanky nasty. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do in the face of individuals who believe themselves superior. The moment you say anything, it's too much. So you may as well walk with your dignity. You're left with some decisions to make. Do you want to pay your bills and have to suppress yourself and deal with this anxiety and not sleep? And I had another girlfriend that I have to tell you about, another lady that I was talking to some years later, who would call me from the bathroom stall crying, hysterical, at what she was going through at this corporate Ernst & Young financial institution that she was working for. Okay, and to me, that is just unacceptable. For the $2 in coins that they're paying you, and it's still not enough. It's still not enough for the amount of work that you're asked and expected to produce, Mamie. Sister Citizen, the book, check it out. Okay, so I understand, I'm with you. I'm solution-based and oriented. So I'm looking at getting you out of that situation because I don't feel that you deserve that. I don't know you like a can of, I don't know you at all. But I do know that as an African woman in this society, going through the things that we're going through, the added stressors that we deal with, being moms, trying to raise our communities, being spouses, being partners, just being comfortable in our own skin as second in line to God, right? Because everybody comes from the top of the brass. So you need to know, the woman is the most disrespected, the whole rhetoric that we know about, right? Because she is second to God, right? So let's be clear that they're coming for you. And my heart to you is, what is your next move? What is your next move? How can you move? We talking about moving our 401k. Are you fully vested? Can you move your money? Can you find another gig? Can you find, use your skills and talents to start your own business? Can you, this is where I go with it. Because I don't believe in sitting low so somebody else can sit high in there fawning against whiteness for their comfortability. I don't believe in it at all. Because you're a person just like me, and namaste, an application has to live in the world space in practice. In practice, there's behaviors that if I honor and respect you, you need to honor and respect me with the same energy. And the practice of those things looks like me not tolerating you punching down at me. Whether you're aware of it, unbeknownst, or your white fragility, or whatever that happens to be. Proximity privilege, because we got those people of color in their proximity privilege who stay punching down because they feel that they have next. See, I don't tolerate it from no one. So it must be a daily application of your lived experiences. And the only way for that to move in this space, because no one is concerned with giving you your dignity, your self-respect, and your self-worth. That's going to be your job. So my sister, my heart to yours. I sincerely hope that you take some time to purge this energy off of you. You're worthy. You don't deserve this. You're a professional. I'm certain that you're probably a phenomenal professional, because we usually are. We're usually exceptional in our ways. This is what makes them a little agitated, on top of us being those black people. So you don't deserve this. And I truly hope that you look to make some decisions around your well-being, your mental health. I can tell you all the textbook things: therapy, walks in the park, drink some tea, be creative. I'm very artistic. I make a lot of things. I use my hand, I use my creative energy, and that is how part of the way that I expel any frustration. But as far as man on man, I understand systemic oppression, but I'm not dealing with man on man oppression. Absolutely not, because I ain't no punk out here. You're not going to just be Deboing me up in here. Many blessings, my sister. Sawubona and namaste.